Hello, hello, and welcome to day 3 of Witchcraft and Woo Woo week. I'm having so much fun. I'm on here again just a few minutes early. If you're catching the replay, thanks for catching the replay. Make sure you put replay in the comments so that I know that you saw it. And the videos, all the videos from this week are going to remain in this event through 10 p.m. on Friday. And then they'll be they'll be available permanently in the membership area. But they'll be in this group until Friday at 10 p.m. Hello, Jessie. So that you can feel free to go back and watch yesterday's and perform yesterday's along with the video, because I want you guys to understand that energy transcends time and space, right? So everything is in the now. We as physical humans, right, think of time in a linear kind of aspect, when actually there's a whole difference that can happen. So therefore, and I'm not going to go into detail on it, quantum physics stuff, but therefore that means energy transcends time and space. So that means you will get the same benefit from watching one of the recorded energy clearings and workings as if you were there with me live. So that makes it. Hello, Leela, Patty, hello. Thanks for joining. Did anybody else that was in our yesterday's clearing and coin casting come across or find any money, coins? We had myself, I posted in the group this morning when I got up and checked my email. There was a decision at like 5:20 in the morning or something like that that came to my email from a dispute that I had been having for quite some time regarding a refund request, and that came through for me. So that's amazing. And then one of the other girls that was with us yesterday, one of the other women, I call us girls, I don't know, that was with us yesterday found $5, so that's amazing. And then one of the other people that was not in the group with us but watched it later let me know that she found 3 coins just laying next to her car when she came out. She said she pulled in, got out of her car, walked into the gas station. When she came back out, she blatantly noticed them. She's like, I don't know how I didn't notice them when I got out of my car, because she's in a higher car and steps down, so she looks at the ground. So that was crazy. I love hearing those things, for those things that come through right away. Now, keep in mind, when we do the energy clearings, especially the money energy clearings like we did, those things are compounded, right? They work over time. So that doesn't mean that just because you didn't find something or you didn't have something happen for you in the first 24 hours that it's not going to. It may be something that is, 3-4 days down the road or a week down the road. So, or sometimes even longer than that if it's a larger request, right, that we're looking at. So so that's amazing. So as you guys find your money that's coming to you, let me know. I had one other person that got a hold of me and said that they actually had gotten information back on one of there must be some kind of, or I know there is some kind of loans that help for people that had been shut down in the COVID crisis, pandemic. And that she had been working back and forth and sending in all these stuff for her application and wasn't hearing anything. And she actually heard back from them yesterday, but it wasn't an approval or anything. But she said it was more communication working towards the money that she needs than she had in the last 2 weeks. So I thought that was amazing too. So let me know if you guys found stuff. Hopefully you guys have some water. Look at this amazing color nail polish, right? Oh my gosh, I fell in love with it when I saw it. It's a color off of the Troll. I don't remember the name of it, but there was a cartoon movie, the Troll movie. It's off of their collection or something like that. So today, all right. Today, we're still working with energies. Who is excited about meeting their spirit animals today. Give me a 1 if you're super excited. Give me a 2 if you have an idea of what your spirit animal is or who your spirit animal is. Because I think a lot of us identify with particular animals that we see all the time, right? For me, hawks. I see hawks all the time. So I identify with hawks. Otters. I love otters. Like, I'm always drawn to otters, and I could sit there and watch them. In fact, anything in a rodent family, I can kind of sit there and watch them, right? Yeah, it does look like bubblegum, right? Pink bubblegum. I love it. Which, squirrel syndrome, right? I put up a post today, and you guys should do it if you want to have fun on your Facebook things. And it said, it gave like 3 different lines and says, pick what vibe I give off, what vibe you feel that I give off. And it was crazy to see the vibe that I gave off, to the differences that people, you know, kind of picked from there. But one of them was like a holographic. It was just a picture of a color, like a holographic color. I'm like, that is totally me. And I think I only saw one other person pick that for me. So it's crazy. But that always brings me back to the truth that we're the only ones that know our true self, right? Everybody else that we come into contact with, including your parents, your spouse, your kids, the church ladies, the lunch ladies at your kid's school, whatever, the gas guy, they all have their own perception of who we are. And none of it makes any difference to who we actually are, right? So always keep that in mind. Okay, so today we're going to work with meeting our spirit animal. Now, again, there may be animals that you are very drawn to, that you are very in sync with, that you feel that you understand and you see, and that makes you very aware of them in your everyday life. And that just may be that you absolutely, like me, love otters, right? Or it may be that you see a certain bird flying all the time. It may be that you notice phoenix birds they just seem to be like all over the place for you, right? Hello, Susan. Hello, Jennifer. Jennifer found the $5 today. Yay, Jennifer. There's more to come. There's more to come. So, although we may have an understanding of who our spirit or what our spirit animal is, we have an affinity to a certain thing, animal, just like our guides, because you have a main and you have others that come in and out of your life, right? So your spirit animal, or the spirit animal that's helping you at the moment, can change from day to day, from week to week, right? If you need support in a certain area or aspect of your life, a spirit animal may come into, or spirit guide, animal guide, sorry, may come into your life, your right space, to be able to lend that understanding, that different point of view, that maybe you need some courage or strength. So you've got, you know, whatever you deem courage or strength, like a lion, step in for you in that time. So even though we tend to have an affinity or a liking to a certain aspect or animal in and of itself, that may be one that you connect with. That may be a totem animal for you, right? You may have a lot of the same characteristics or attributes, right, as that animal does, and that carries throughout. You are just going to carry that for a lifetime. Like, it kind of seems like in those kind of animals that it's something that you carry for a lifetime. Like, I've always loved rodents. I've always loved otters. Like, they've always been my favorite thing at the zoo since as far back as I can remember. So I feel that that is a direct connective totem animal for me, okay? Your animal guides, again, are ones that'll step in and give you their strengths and certain tasks for you, and help support certain balances and emotions that you may be having as well. That makes sense to everyone? Thumbs up if it does. So today, Jesse says, I just thought now, hey, maybe that's why I see this animal always trying to get my attention, right? See, and that doesn't happen just with spirit animals and animal guides. That happens with your regular guides as well. And the spirits surrounding, right? We all have teams that are around us. So your angels, your guides, your spirits, your ascended masters are always working within your astral self, with your higher self, to kind of push you here and there along the path, to keep you going from point A to point B, right? Without kind of diverting through to Z and back to B, right? So those messages that we get can be very kind of contextual, right? Like you can see them maybe in a license plate and not even recognize it until 3 days later, and you go, oh, you know what? I saw that license plate, and that was crazy because it spelled bear, or, you know, whatever it was. Spirit interacts with us all the time like that. I always tell the story, and I love this story. My husband's, one of our, mine and my husband's best friends, he moved away from, I'm in Wisconsin, he moved down to Florida, and great guy. I think probably the most heart-centered man that I have, and the most generous person I've probably ever known. Just all around an earth angel for sure. Anyways, he was, you know, our age, my age at the time. And I was working up here. He moved down there years ago. And I was at work. I worked outside of the house. I managed a vision clinic for 7 years. So I was at work in my office, and my husband was, you know, at his job, and he's a tile setter. And I pulled a piece of paper out of a drawer that I had that I needed, right? Not a piece of paper, what do you call it? Clipboard that I needed out of a drawer, and a piece of paper fluttered to the ground. And I looked down, and it was the gentleman's name, our friend that passed away, his name was Dave. It was a piece of paper that was ripped off of the corner that had his name and address written on it, because we had sent him a Green Bay Packer care package. He was a big Green Bay Packer fan. So we had bought some stuff, and we were sending it down to Florida for him. So I had shoved it into the drawer after I sent his package, and it fluttered to the ground. And I picked it up and shoved it back in the little, you know, place that I had it. And then like 10 minutes later, my husband sent me a text message that said, hey, check this out. And it was a picture. And it was a picture of a license plate of a car that, you know, he was sitting in traffic in front of him. And it said Lippie on it. Lippie. That is the nickname that we used to call Dave. We called him Lippie because of his last name, but we called him Lippie. And he said, isn't that crazy? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so weird. Like, this piece of paper just fell down, and, you know, that's crazy. We found out about an hour after that he had been in a ski-doo accident and had been killed instantly. And at the time of the accident was about an hour previous to when both of us, I saw the piece of paper with his name, and he saw the license plate that immediately made us think of him. So those kind of ways, immediate action, two places at once, right? As soon as it's crossed over, as soon as they've crossed over, those messages can come just like that. And now that was like a huge, like, blow up in your face kind of message, right? Because you're going to find out that somebody's passed away, and oh my gosh, this happened. And it's like in life, in your face. I saw that piece of paper. He texted me within 10 minutes, and an hour later we find out, right? So keeping in mind that spirit can bring you messages in all different ways. A piece of paper falling onto the ground with information, an opening of a book to a specific page where a line of words jumps out at you, something on a license plate, something on a billboard, something on somebody else's t-shirt, a song that you hear when you walk into a specific store. Anything like that can bring you messages. So I invite you to always remain open for any messages that your entire spirit family, guide family, is willing and trying to get out to you. Even if it's just to say, hey, I'm okay, or if it's to give you support and guidance into choices and decisions that you have to make, right? Because they're always there trying to make sure that we don't, you know, try to go to Z from between. So keep that in mind. Just a little story. I love that story because it's truthful. It rings real. It happened. And it's a confirmation to me in every single way. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about these real quick as well before we go into this. And you guys know that I try and keep it about an hour long, and it'll probably be about a little less than that, 45 minutes. So these two card decks are ones that I love if you like working with your spirit animals. This one is Messages from Your Spirit Guides. This is my favorite. It's by Steve Farmer. This is my favorite. You can probably buy it on Amazon. I'll see if I can find the link and put it underneath the video or something. But this is my favorite. The cards are really well made. They shuffle really easy, but this one seems to be really dead on for me when it comes to specific messages. The other one that I like is the Power Animal Oracle cards. And these, this one I bought, I think either Amazon or Hay House. Hay House, Hay House, has sales a lot of times that will give you decks for like $5 and stuff. And I always grab up all the decks that I don't have that are $5 every sale that they have. So these are nice because it gives you simple kind of, this is what you should be looking at, right? So all of your animals are going to mean something different for you, just as your crystals may react different for you than somebody else, or herbs may resonate different for you than somebody else, or your crystals or anything else, right? So keep that in mind, because just because, you know, the raccoons are usually about resources and, you know, being smart and waiting to make plans, you know, those kind of things. If that's not what a raccoon means to you, if a raccoon just means that you think that they're trickstery and, you know, just kind of devil little beings, then you need to take that into consideration when that comes to you, okay? It all is about how everything resonates with you. And I showed you those, so I'm going to show you the other ones. Again, these are my favorite ones. If you have them, great. You don't have to by any means. We're not doing anything special with them. I just wanted you to see them. This one is like this, right? They're just really nice. And these have a little bit more of guidance to them, where this is like kind of one-liner. Like this maybe probably resonates with you at the moment. This one is a little bit more, sorry, animals in the background. This one is a little bit more about actual guidance and things that you may want to look out for or keep in mind. Okay, that's that. So I have the window open here today because it is 70 degrees outside and it was raining this morning, and there's another storm that's supposed to be coming through. So everything, my husband just came down and said that this was witch weather because it's warm outside, but there's a cold, wet breeze. So I do have this window open, so if you hear the cars going by or anything like that. So what we're going to do, Jesse says, you've started collecting the decks because you love them. Yep. Sign up for Hay House or keep checking. I don't know when it's going to be again. I would assume they would probably have one during this time. I think a lot of people are having sales. But I know I just got a couple new decks too. I mean, I have a lot of decks, but that's where I get them from because y'all know me. I'm cheap, right? Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to just do a meditative journey. Let me know if you have any questions about spirit guides, power animals, totem animals, meditation, just regular guide messages, anything like that. Just let me know. I'll give you just a minute to kind of catch up here in the time lapse, and I'm going to shut this door real quick. Okay, didn't shut all the way, but I mean, no questions. Okay, so what we're going to do is kind of like what we did yesterday. We're going to just kind of go on a little meditative journey, right? And we're going to allow you to meet your spirit, or meet a spirit animal that is influential in your life right now. So it may be your totem animal. You may go in there and go, oh my gosh, that's exactly who I thought it was going to be or what I thought it was going to be. Or the one that presents himself to you or herself to you may be something that you absolutely did not expect and don't really understand in the moment. And that's fine too. Just accept it as it is, and then you can muster it over in your mind at a later time, right? While we're doing this, again, it's only going to be like 10-15 minutes. While we're doing this, I'm also going to be doing a cleansing and a clearing for spirit messages, spirit connection and messages, okay? So that's going to be able to open you up a little bit more to be able to recognize, realize, acknowledge, and understand messages that are coming through in your daily life as well as in dream state. So your dreams sometimes after something like this may sway one of two ways. If you're a dreamer, you may feel nothing. You may find that, oh my gosh, I did this and now I don't remember my dreams for a couple days if you're a regular dreamer. And then it goes back to normal for you. If you are not a dreamer, you may recognize and realize that, oh my gosh, I actually remembered bits and pieces of this, or it may stay not remembering. That doesn't mean that your dreams are not occurring, right? Just because you don't remember anything, people go, I don't dream. You do, you dream, but you just don't remember them, right? You don't bring them into conscious state, which is fine because they're still working in the subconscious level for you. So any messages that are coming through, you're still receiving them. It's just you don't bring it into the conscious portion of the mind. Make sense? Okay. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a clearing as well so that, and you don't have to do anything for that. What I'm going to do is actually put you into a higher vibration, which allows the blockages to kind of fall away. And that's work on my part. It's nothing extra that you have to do, right? You are just going to enjoy the ride, the journey. Just want to say the last question before we go into it is, one of the questions that I got from the last day that we did. And the question is, when I'm visualizing or when I'm meditating or when I'm going on these journeys, as I call it, right? Am I supposed to be seeing myself like I'm watching a movie? Or am I supposed to be seeing it as if it's through my own eyes? And the answer to that is whichever way it works for you, because it's different for everybody. Do you, and I'm not sure if some people don't know this, and I don't remember the name that it's called, but there are people that do not have internal dialogue in their minds. And I know for those of us that do, it's hard to understand that, but they have no internal dialogue whatsoever. They don't hear the thought process at all. Like it's just crazy. I forget the name of it, but it's actual like a thing. And I didn't realize that this was something that was even a thing until probably about 5 years ago, when somebody came up to me and asked me that question, said, well, which way am I supposed to be doing it? And then somebody else in the group said, well, I can't do it at all, either way. Like I get nothing. So if you're one of those people that get nothing, that don't have the internal dialogue, that doesn't have an imagination that works within the mind, memories are only recalled from physical things, not from I can go back, okay, if that makes sense. If you're one of those kind of people, what I have learned from that person a couple years ago was it's best just to stay in the absolute moment and focus on the words that other people are saying. So whatever the guide's saying or whatever the music lyrics are, whatever it is, because she felt that it still activated something to get into that subconscious level, even though there was no pictures happening in her mind. Okay, so in case you didn't realize that there are some people that have zero internal, like, okay, when you read a book like the words are in your mind, right? Give me a 1 if when you read a book, like the words are in your mind. And as you're reading a book, you can picture in your mind what's going on there. Give me a 1. If that doesn't happen for you, if there's nothing that is an internal like dialogue that happens, throw me a 2. It'd just be interesting to know if anyone here has this. I don't remember what it's called, but I'm going to look it up. The opposite end of that is that most people that would be a number 2 that don't have that internal dialogue don't do a lot of the meditative stuff. They don't have a lot of open psychic ability because they don't have that internal dialogue, right? Crazy to me. I couldn't imagine not having it, but I guess that's because what I have is normal. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. So let me know that you are ready. Again, it's going to be shorter. Hopefully we don't have a whole lot of noise that happens in the background. Okay, I don't have any background music going. We've got some, like I said, windows open. So hopefully that'll give us some nature sounds. It'd be nice if it started raining, but I don't think it's going to. Okay, going to have you first begin by closing your eyes. Just being still. Taking a few deep breaths in, deep breath in and out. In, counting to 3, 1, 2, 3. Hold, 1, 2, and release. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, if you feel that your body wants to move or sway, feel free to do that. Deep breath in and out. I want you to imagine that light, bright light coming down from the ceiling, from the sky, onto the top of your head, hitting right onto the top of your head. And feel it as warmth and spreading like syrup being poured over pancakes. Do you feel the warmth of it hitting the top of your head, allowing it to flow down over the scalp, muscles becoming relaxed, over the forehead, the back of the head, over the eyes, allowing the eyelids to be soft, down over the cheeks and the ears, down over the jawline, allowing the jaw to slack, feeling all the muscles become loose and limp, allowing it to flow down the neck, front and back of the neck, releasing tension, allowing it to flow down over the shoulders. Move those shoulders just a bit if you feel you need to, allowing the muscles again to become long, loose, and limp. Deep breath in and out, allowing that relaxation to flow down through the tops of the arms, down across the elbows, down the forearms, to the hands, the fingertips, allowing the flow down the top of the torso, down the upper back, the shoulder blades, allowing the shoulders to slump just a bit. Allowing it to go down the front of the stomach, the lower back, across the pelvic area, through the hips, down the tops of the thighs, the back of the legs, muscles becoming very relaxed, very long, loose, and limp. Over the knees, front and back, down the shins, ankles, feet, top and bottom, and the toes. Breath in and out. To just sit in the relaxation. Just listening to surrounding sounds. Breath in and out. I want you to picture a forest. Picture walking across an open grassland, and there's a tree line with a bunch of trees, a forest, in front of you. As you get closer, you're very happy to be approaching this forest, because in that forest is your most favorite place, your cabin. It's a place where you can go and be completely relaxed and removed from daily life. No worries can follow you into your cabin. You're walking slowly, coming up on the tree line, getting pretty excited that you're going to be able to just sit and relax and feel good. As you enter into the trees, there's the path in front of you that you always walk towards your cabin. It's a little walk. As you walk, you can hear the crunching of the leaves or the sticks that are underneath your feet as you go. It was just a slight rain, and you can smell that damp earth, and it smells so good to you. Deep breath in, out. As you walk a little further, you're able to look around and notice the leaves on the trees, and to hear the birds and that little animals rustling around. And then just in front of you, you see your cabin. I want you to stop for just a minute and just look at your cabin. What does the outside of it look like? Is it made of wood? Is it a log cabin? Is it a more modern look to it? Maybe it's even a trailer. Whatever your little space is, you take a deep breath in because you're so happy to be there. Deep breath in and out. You look around just to make sure everything's in its place. Everything is so familiar to you. You've been here so many times. You walk up to it and put your hand on the door handle. Is it cold? Is it warm? Does the sun hit it? Is it smooth? You open the door and enter your cabin. The door closes behind you. What noise did it just make? And you look around, so familiar, so happy to be there. What does it look like on the inside? What color are the walls? Did you paint them? Are they just wood? What decorations do you have in your cabin? Do you have pictures of family? Do you have crystals? Deep breath in and out. There's a chair, one center chair in the middle of your cabin, and it's your most favorite chair. It's so comfortable. What does that chair look like? What does your most comfortable chair feel like as you sit down into it? As soon as you sit down into it, you just feel relaxed. Everything falls away other than just being right here in your happiness. No worries, no stress. Deep breath in and out. You continue to hear the birds. There's no other noise. You're very focused on the birds. The birds are music to you. The nature sounds are music to you. It's not just background noise. Continue to look around the cabin. What does it feel like underneath your feet? What's on your feet? Do you have shoes, flip-flops, hiking boots, bare feet? If you have shoes on, you take them off. What does the inside of your cabin smell like? I want you just to sit back in the chair, your soft, comfortable chair, and take a couple deep breaths in and out. In and out. With that, you notice there's other noises now. It's not just the birds. It's not just the birds. You hear something and it sounds like it's right outside the door. And you remember of all the magic that your forest holds because it houses every animal. Every animal imaginable lives in your forest. And they're not afraid of you. All the animals always welcome you. No matter if the animal is huge or very small, you always get a visit. And you realize that the noise is right outside of your cabin door now. It's on the front porch or the landing or the walkway up, whatever's right outside your door, that's where the noise is coming from. And you realize that an animal has come to pay you a visit. And all of a sudden you're very aware that there's a message that you need to hear. There's something that you need to know, but you can't put your finger on what it is. What is it? You hear the noise outside the door and realize that that animal that's there to come visit you is the one that's going to give you the message. Deep breath in and out. You get up out of your chair. And turn towards the door. Knowing that when you open the door, that animal that's there is going to answer the question of what message it is you need to hear. We're going to walk over to the door. Extend your hand out against the door. What does that door feel like? What noises are you hearing from the other side of the door? I want you to take a deep breath in and out and open the door. When you open the door, it's very bright. It seems unusually bright, and there's an animal standing there. Your first impression of what animal is standing there. What animal is it? You look at it, it looks at you, and you realize that you can understand its thoughts. It can connect with you telepathically. You can talk with this animal. I need you to ask the animal, what is it that I need to know? What is it that you need to tell me? Listen to what the animal says. It may be words, it may be impressions, it may be colors, it may just be pictures or symbols. Invite the animal in to your cabin, even if it's large. It can somehow get into the cabin with you. Sit back into that comfortable chair. Let the animal sit in front of you. Deep breath in and out. What does he have to say? What does she have to say? Your animal is now ready to leave. It's offered you the message that you need to hear right now. It gets up, you walk over to the door, open that door again, and it's so bright out there. You say farewell to the animal and thank you, and we'll see you next time. As the animal walks out the door, you watch it as it fades into the brightness. Allowing the door to close, you look around and you feel so grateful. So much love for the space that you're in, for this little piece of happiness that you call your cabin, in your little magical forest. You decide to walk back out from your cabin to head back home, knowing that you're going to be returning soon, knowing that you can return to that spot, your favorite spot, your loving spot, anytime that you choose to. You can converse with any of the animals at any time, just by coming back to this cabin. I'm going to open the door, step out of the cabin, letting the door close behind you. Placing your hand one last time on the cabin, and kind of that, I feel so loved here tap. Thank you for being here for me. And you begin to walk away from the cabin, back through the woods. Again, enjoying each and every step, but even feeling lighter and better because you recognize and realize the message that came through to you. Little lighter of a step as you enjoy all the surrounding sounds and sights as you come to the grass line. And step out of the forest back into the grass. Continue walking just a few steps. And then stop and turn back towards the forest. Looking at your forest. Big deep breath in, knowing that, gosh, I just love this place. And out. And as you stand there and you feel the gratitude and the happiness, you can feel your heart center swell. You can feel the energies just kind of moving through you. You feel clean, you feel fresh, you feel open. Deep breath in and out. One last deep breath in and out. Beginning to move your shoulders just a bit. Beginning to come back into the physical body. Rubbing your hands together, just lightly, softly. And then placing them over your eyes. Allow your eyes to open. And come back when you're ready. How do you guys feel? Let me know if you met what animal you thought you were going to meet walking in. Because again, a lot of times that is not the case. There may be something when you open that door that is completely unexpected. And the messages that you receive, again, it may be straightforward to you. Something may have come right away to you. It may be something that is going to take a little bit of time to process. You're not really sure what they told you, or you don't understand, or you don't think that they said anything at all, or heck, there wasn't even an animal there when I opened the door. Know that the impression of energy and the impression of guide is still there regardless. A bear, awesome. And you didn't expect it. Isn't that crazy? The way that that happens. And that's because that doesn't mean that if you have an affinity or you feel a very strong, a deer. You hoped for a polar bear and saw a brown bear. So how did the brown bear get through the door? Isn't that the craziest thing that it just happens? Right? When I say they walk through the door, like they walk in. Wonderful. Oh, squirrels. I love squirrels because they're in that rodent kind of thing. But an owl, great. You thought it would be, well, you're still in the birds, right? That's amazing. Amazing. So again, those guides that just came and gave you messages, they may be ones that are with you affinity throughout a long time. Like I said, my affinity with otters, like, to me, that is one of my totem animals. Otters is one of my totem animals. I've loved them my entire life. Do I always get messages? Is that who the spirit animal that comes through always is? Absolutely not. Because the attributes and of the animal, right, that's coming through, and the power of that animal that's coming through is what you need in that moment and time. Sue says a deer. They're so beautiful. Deer are so majestic when they go, right? So this, what we did was a couple things. Hello, Ashley. We just finished our meditation, but you can go through and watch the replay and walk through it for yourself at any time, and it works exactly the same for you, okay? So what we did was a couple different things. Everybody feel lighter, right? A little more open, a little like, right? Okay, that's energy work. Love it. So I went ahead and opened up some of the blockages that some of you had, offering healing. And this, again, transcends time and space. So those people that are watching the replay, you received that same cleansing and healing, okay? So we removed some of the blockages so that it made it easier for you to be able to join your spirit animal, your spirit guide, animal guide, sorry, your animal guide. It made it easier. And it also is going to continue to make it easier for you. And here's the thing is, I remove that for you. So now you're more open to messages, not only from all of your spirit family, okay, your guides, but we also set a place that you can immediately go to. You can put yourself back in that cabin. We built that cabin. You built that cabin yourself right now. You built that as a room in your mind, in your subconscious, that you recognize as a safe place where now any animal can come and give you message at any time. And that's a very powerful thing, because you have that as a place that you are recognizable to your conscious, right? Because we just set it from conscious and we brought it into the magical mind. So now you have that. So if you want to connect with animal again, or see if there's information or guidance or messages that any animal spirit guide has to give you, you only need to sit back, take a couple breaths, and remember that you're walking into that cabin. And once you get in your chair and get ready and hear that, you can turn around and open that door again, and your animal is going to be there to give you that guidance that you need in that moment. So that's amazing. That's something that you can do anytime, any place. You created that, right? And then in these Sister Circle, we're going to do a lot of the energy work too. We are going to create a healing room kind of like that as well. But it's a little bit more robust than that. But so I'm really excited that you guys, I hope you guys enjoy doing those journeys with me. I hope that the background noises don't throw you off a whole lot. I think we did pretty good this time. No dogs barking or anything, right? Horses and snakes for Ashley. Yes. Very good totems. So the animal that you met today, whatever the message is that they gave you, you will be able to either have now and know, or you'll be able to contemplate and kind of muster over it and go, okay, what might this mean to me if you were given impressions and pictures and things like that instead. But what I would like for you to do is to Google search, or use your cards or whatever and look up what that animal means. And you can go on and search just totem animals, or spirit animals with whatever it is, spirit animal, owls, and it'll come up and give you the attributes of what that animal is traditionally. Now remember, I said in the beginning when we looked at the raccoon, right? I said if it means something completely different than traditional, you go with what you connect that symbol to be, right? Raccoon to me is cute and fuzzy and I love it. They're really smart. To somebody else, they're trashy and sneaky. So Jesse, you got nothing of a message, but a very clear picture of your owl. Sometimes I'm sure there was a message that was given that maybe was not received on that kind of recognizable aspect. The other thing is that sometimes they just present themselves to go, this is me, right? And especially if it's one that stays with you for long term. Okay, so it may just be to go, you know what, this is me, or this is the attributes and the strengths that I'm supporting right now. There's really no message, but I just want you to know that, you know, I don't know off the top of my head what an owl is, but I would assume that if you are, it's very goal destined, right? Like they can be up very high and see something very small, so you can kind of hone in on your goals and then make sure that you are in a straight path to them. That may be what comes to me for an owl. That may be not be what you take from it. So you might just want to search it and see what those attributes are, because that on its own can be very eye-opening. Yay! I'm so happy that you guys joined me. I'm so happy that you all were able to meet your spirit animals today, or animal guides today, right? And I've had a blast this past week in this Witchcraft and Woo Woo week. I've had so much fun. So I'm hoping that you guys that are with me are going to be going into the sister circle so that we can continue to kind of do these things together. But again, if not, no big deal. I'm still going to be available in the free group, but you'll have the direct access and do all these fun things in the sister circle membership, which again is only open until Friday, this Friday at 10 p.m. Tomorrow, which is Friday already, oh my gosh, we are going to do the art of spell writing. Because I always write like the magical and the mundane, the magical and the woo-woo, the witchcraft and the woo-woo are like connected, right? It's hard to bring them apart sometimes. So even though it's the energy and the intention that creates the magic for you, right? The action part of it is still something that needs to be contemplated. And you can do your magic spells and write them, or you don't have to use words. You can use different music, but I'm going to go through some different ways that you can utilize different strengths to be able to craft a spell very easily that you can use at any time along with the rest of our woo-woo. So I'm looking forward to that. So if there's any questions or anything like that, make sure you post your questions in the comments or in the event or in the group, and I will make sure that I answer them to the best of my ability. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow live at 4 p.m. Central Time, my time. Have a wonderfully magical rest of your day.